A 16-year-old girl is found unconscious in the woods, her clothes torn and her face covered in injuries. Nobody believes her. The school wants her gone. The bullies walk free. And the only people who step up to help her may not even be real. This is Everyone Is There, a Korean thriller that will leave your jaw on the floor by the end. Hey guys, welcome back to Workcaps. Today we are breaking down this incredible Korean thriller from start to finish. Before we continue, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Now let us get into it. Our story begins with Lisa, a timid and shy 16-year-old girl, running frantically through the woods at night. Her clothes are ripped and her face is covered in cuts and bruises. She trips on a staircase and falls several feet down. With whatever little strength she has left, she begs for help before losing consciousness completely. When she wakes up, she is in a hospital bed. A passerby found her in the woods and brought her in just in time. Outside her room, two police officers discuss the case. Based on previous bullying reports at her school, they are already convinced that Lisa was targeted by a group of girls from her class. But here is where things get infuriating. The mothers of the accused girls show up at the hospital even though they are legally not allowed to contact the victim. These women are married to powerful and wealthy men, and they walk in with the confidence of people who believe their children are above the law. The detective, Mr. Kim, confronts them and points out that their daughters were the ones who lured Lisa to the mountain that night. The mothers wave it off, casually claiming the girls were simply hanging out. When the argument gets too heated, Lisa herself asks everyone to leave because she just wants to rest. After the incident, the homeroom teacher, Miss Lee, meets with the school principal. Both of them know exactly what happened to Lisa. But instead of doing the right thing, the principal instructs Miss Lee to transfer Lisa to another school when she recovers, all to protect the school's reputation. He disguises his corruption behind fake concern for the bullies' futures. A few weeks later, Lisa recovers enough to walk around. Detective Kim has tried multiple times to get her to open up about what happened that night, but Lisa has stayed completely silent. With no solid evidence, the case gets handed over to a counseling guidance teacher, and the bullies are released without any real consequences. One night, alone in her room, Lisa reaches her lowest point and almost does the unthinkable. But she is interrupted when a woman quietly enters her room. The woman introduces herself as Somi, a counseling guidance teacher. Somi is unlike anyone Lisa has ever met. She was bullied herself as a student and knows the pain firsthand. Rather than offering empty comfort, she tells Lisa to hold on and stay alive until she comes back. On the day Lisa is discharged from the hospital, she receives an unexpected visitor. It is Nayeon, the leader of the bullies. She has brought Lisa a new school uniform since her old one was destroyed, but there is no remorse in her eyes. She coldly tells Lisa she would be better off dead and warns her to stay away from the police before walking out. Moments later, Somi enters, having heard every word. She takes Lisa home with her and helps her settle in. Later, Lisa visits the neighborhood where her mother used to live before she passed away. While walking around lost in memories, she spots a girl who looks exactly like her. She follows her and soon discovers the shocking truth. The girl is her identical twin sister named Jenny. Lisa tries to approach her, but Jenny walks away completely uninterested. We learn that their parents divorced before the girls were even born. Their father wanted nothing to do with either of them. Over time, their mother struggled financially and made the painful decision to leave Lisa with her father and keep only Jenny. The sisters grew up in completely separate worlds and never saw each other again after that. The next day, Somi tracks Jenny down at a convenience store and catches her shoplifting. She stops her outside and tells her everything that happened to Lisa. Even hearing that her own twin sister was nearly bullied to death does not move Jenny at first. She only agrees to help when Somi offers her money. That evening, the three of them meet at Somi's apartment. The plan is simple but bold. Jenny will go to school pretending to be Lisa and teach the bullies a lesson they will never forget. Jenny dropped out of school a year ago and wants absolutely nothing to do with going back. She refuses and storms out. But minutes later, she receives a video in a group chat. It is footage of Lisa being bullied. A group of girls tear her clothes, throw her to the ground, and kick her repeatedly while someone films it all with an obnoxious laugh. Jenny is furious. She storms back to the apartment and agrees to the plan.
왜 이래? 맘 돌려서 이상하게 쳤는데. 교감면?
The next morning, Jenny walks into school as Lisa. Her classmates notice something is different about her, but nobody says anything. That is until Nayeon and her group walk in. Nayeon cheerfully sits beside Jenny and calls her cute for coming back to school. The moment Jenny hears that distinctive obnoxious laugh, she knows exactly who she is dealing with. When Nayeon gets too close and starts touching her, Jenny grabs her by the hair, slaps her to the ground with one blow, and sits on top of her demanding she laugh again. She films the entire thing while choking her simultaneously. Nayeon's friends stand frozen in shock and can do nothing. Miss Lee eventually breaks it up and pulls them apart. When she and Jenny are alone, Jenny pulls out a pen and subtly threatens her with it, calling her out for everything she allowed to happen to Lisa. That evening, Jenny shows Lisa the video of Nayeon being confronted. Lisa does not know how to feel. She does not believe in violence even against the person who destroyed her life. Somi warns Jenny not to go that far again because it could create serious problems for Lisa. The next day is the twins' birthday. For the very first time in their lives, they celebrate together. They share a cake and talk openly for hours. Lisa tells Jenny how unloved she felt growing up. Jenny listens and relates because her own life in poverty with their mother was far from perfect either. The following morning, Jenny is still asleep, so Lisa decides to go to school on her own. She believes that after what happened, Nayeon will leave her alone. She is wrong. At school, she overhears Nayeon's mother in the principal's office demanding that Lisa be transferred away immediately. The principal agrees without hesitation. Lisa runs to the bathroom in tears. There she runs directly into Nayeon, who dumps an entire bucket of water over her head. Lisa returns home soaking wet and collapses in exhaustion. Jenny sees the state she is in and her anger reaches a boiling point. She calls Nayeon and threatens to release the video of her beating Lisa unless she comes to the mountain alone. Terrified of being exposed, Nayeon shows up. Jenny knocks her out from behind. When Nayeon wakes up, her hands and legs are bound and her mouth is taped shut. Jenny removes the tape and forces her to drink a full bottle of water. Then she produces a second bottle filled with acid. Nayeon screams and begs for her life. Jenny pours the acid dangerously close to her face, not killing her but making absolutely certain she understands the terror she put Lisa through. She unties Nayeon's legs and tells her to run if she wants to survive. Nayeon tries to run and collapses just a few meters away. Just then, Lisa arrives at the scene and immediately tries to free Nayeon. She does not want anyone else to get hurt no matter what they did to her. Somi arrives seconds later, shocked at everything she sees. She scolds Jenny for going too far and calls an ambulance for Nayeon. Jenny is brought in for police questioning, but since no one witnessed her with the victim, she remains only a suspect for now. Somi arrives and convinces the officers to release her temporarily, while they wait for Nayeon to regain consciousness. Outside, Jenny tells everyone she does not regret a single thing and would do it all over again. Nayeon's mother confronts her outside and starts screaming at her. Jenny smugly mocks her and lets it slip that everything she did was payback. The officers hear this and realize she is the one who attacked Nayeon. Detective Kim calls her by Lisa's name and Jenny snaps back, telling him that the Lisa he is looking for is at home. On the drive back, Kim cannot stop thinking. He has noticed that Lisa's entire personality has shifted since she was in the hospital. He drives to Somi's apartment to check. The place is completely empty. Then he gets a call from the hospital. Nayeon has regained consciousness and is rambling about a second person being present during the attack. But a flashback reveals the truth. Jenny was completely alone with Nayeon on that mountain. And here is where everything unravels completely. Jenny, Lisa, and Somi are all the same person. Every single conversation Lisa had with either of them was a conversation she was having with herself. She never had a twin sister. After being abandoned by her parents and destroyed by her bullies, Lisa was so desperately alone that she created the people she needed most. The fantasy slowly became an obsession and she developed multiple personality disorder. Somi is actually a real person and a real guidance officer, but she never visited Lisa in the hospital. Lisa imagined her presence there and eventually absorbed her into her own mind as another personality. The court uncovers the full truth about Lisa's condition and she begins intensive therapy. She drops out of school and dedicates herself entirely to healing. In her final therapy session, we see her talking openly and honestly about everything she went through. For the first time, she is no longer running from it. In the very last scene, the real Somi drops her off at the airport. Lisa is leaving for a new city and a completely new life. Thank you for watching Workaps. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next recap. See you soon.